I really enjoyed the documentary, and right off the bat, I just want to ask you, what does it take to be, I guess, an effective producer as far as shepherding a project? What are the skills that one needs to actually get something off the ground, and then helping seeing that vision through?
Well, I got my first producing advice from the great Joseph Papp of the Public Theater. He asked me what I wanted to do. I was doing a play there. I was 19, and I told him I might go to school, NYU, but not to be an actress. I said, although I was acting, to be a producer. And he says, "You don't need to go to school for that." I said, "Why?" He says, "You want to know how to produce?" He says, "Take something and make it happen." And there's a lot of water under the bridge to that happening. But the truth is, if your goal is to make something happen, that means you have to brave all sorts of obstacles, put up with a lot of disappointment, and create partnerships with other people. It turns out I'm made for that because acting gives me a good, let's say, background of rejection. So I'm good at that. I'm good at disappointment. Being a preacher's daughter, and my mother's a teacher, my father's a preacher. I have had to make partnerships with different people because they were both orphans. So in a way, my whole life being young, growing up, seeing how they leveraged not having any family and or means, but still gained a foothold in places, it showed me that you need to be a reliable partner. And the other thing is just hard work, resilience, and believing in what you're making. And it turns out that there's a lot of great voices out there that do not have access or resources. And if you're able to get them to believe in your ability to move things along and keep them first and foremost protected, but also be honest with them, then you got something. You can be a producer.
You know, I, a documentary like this, John Lewis Good Trouble, to me is evergreen. You can release it anytime and it will still resonate no matter what. But can you speak to the fact that this is this how this documentary is being released at the perfect time, because not only is it a call to action, but it's a call to not wade in despair, which he talks about. No matter what his health is, no matter what he's doing, he's still pushing on. Can you just speak to that how this documentary just hits so many layers, and it's really a call to action and humanity, really.
Yeah. Greg, that's called the universe. I mean, in my life, I would have never, I couldn't have, I don't even know what a pandemic is past talking about it from 1918. I had seen things like that, but I thought that that was behind us, things like even polio. So here we are talking about not only a pandemic, but then the civil unrest unleashed by the murders of Ahmaud Aubrey and George Floyd to come to a head for people of all colors, all races, all ages are saying enough's enough because it's not because they see a black man, it's because they see themselves in that response. They're like, if I can't see the wrong in that, then ain't nothing right. And that is good trouble. When you see it and you understand it to be wrong and you go out and you say that is wrong and I'm going to put my life and my body in harm's way to protect someone else's life, you do protect your own. But I think that Good Trouble just happened to be, again, a destiny film. John Lewis is a series of discoveries and destiny inside of his life. And whether he was writing to Martin Luther King to join the class action suit, discriminate for the discrimination he was experiencing, trying to get into college, then obviously at 19, desegregating those lunch counters, and then at 23, speaking at the March on Washington, and then him going forward through all those assassinations and despair and everything to become a congressperson with a wife and a child, and then eventually to have to face pancreatic stage 4 cancer in the middle of a pandemic. Child, please. I mean, he's a blueprint for, I think, what makes human beings great.